Operating a business without a formal legal structure leaves everything you own completely exposed. One lawsuit could shatter your personal finances. But overcompensating with the wrong structure brings its own penalty. In Maine, a structural misstep saddles your business with an unnecessary 8.93% corporate income tax rate. To solve this, Maine offers three primary solutions: the limited liability company, the C-Corporation, and the S-Corporation. Each path requires distinct filing forms, carries different upfront fees, and dictates exactly how both Maine Revenue Services and the IRS will treat your profits. We are going to map the specific steps to register in Maine, analyze the real-world use cases for each option, and weigh their precise trade-offs. Getting the structure right from the start sets the foundation for your liability protection and ensures you aren't paying more in state taxes than your business model requires. Look at the Maine State House here. This represents the government authority that officially turns your concept into a recognized business. Before filing, you must choose a unique business name and appoint a registered agent. If you are forming a corporation, Maine law calls this role your clerk. This agent or clerk must have a physical street address within the state. A P.O. box will not work. They also have to be present during normal business hours to receive official legal process and tax notices. With your agent in place, you complete the required formation documents, Form MLLC 6 if you want an LLC, or Form MBCA 6 for a corporation. As you can see from this historical shot of mail sorting, Maine's initial registration process remains distinctly analog. The state does not offer an online portal for your initial formation. You must download, print, and physically mail your paperwork to Augusta. Because it's handled by mail, standard processing takes anywhere from 14 to 30 days. If you need it faster, you can include an additional fee, $50 for 24-hour turnaround or $100 for same-day service. Once approved, you must draft your internal governance documents. For an LLC, that's an operating agreement. For a corporation, it's your corporate bylaws. Doing this prevents defaulting to Maine's rigid statutory rules. Finally, you request an employer identification number from the IRS and register on the Maine tax portal. This gives you the specific credentials needed to open a business bank account and formally establish your state tax accounts. Navigating this paper-heavy process requires patience, but completing these specific steps is the necessary friction required to gain the full legal protections of the state.
Before we dive into the exact state steps and paperwork, let's talk about your foundation. You absolutely cannot build a successful brand or protect your assets without a properly structured legal entity. Most people try to launch as a sole proprietor or cut corners on their initial state filings, and that is exactly why they face massive personal liabilities or get their applications rejected by the state. Your business must be a separate legal entity. That's where Northwest Registered Agent comes in. Northwest is the absolute best formation service out there. They handle your entire LLC or corporation setup for just $39 plus state fees, which includes a full year of their premium registered agent service. What makes them elite is their privacy by default policy. They use their own business address on all your state filings to keep your home address off public records, and they never sell your data. This legal and privacy shield is non-negotiable if you want to protect your wealth. I've linked my full Northwest review in the description. Use my link down below to register your business today and unlock exclusive discounts. Get your protection handled first, and then let's get into the step-by-step guide for your state.
Take a look at the Granite Hall store. Businesses like this, local retail, solo consultants, and medium-sized ventures almost universally choose the limited liability company. Establishing a domestic Maine LLC requires an upfront filing fee of $175, paid directly to the Secretary of State. The main draw is pass-through taxation. Business revenue bypasses the company entirely, flowing straight through to your personal 1040 tax return. This mechanism completely avoids the Maine corporate income tax, keeping that money safely inside your business's bottom line. There is a trade-off. The LLC offers excellent management flexibility, but its structure makes it incredibly difficult to raise capital from institutional venture investors. For founders who value low administrative overhead and simple tax preparation over aggressive equity scaling, the LLC is the definitive choice. Now look at these larger commercial buildings. To build a venture-backed startup intending to scale massively and issue public shares, you need a C corporation. The upfront cost is slightly lower, a $145 filing fee, but the administrative burden is much higher. You are legally required to hold mandatory, structured board meetings and maintain strictly recorded corporate bylaws at all times. Investors demand this structure because it allows you to issue multiple classes of stock to an unlimited number of shareholders. That scalability triggers a severe penalty: double taxation of your corporate profits, taxed first at Maine's corporate rate, then taxed again as personal dividends. This brings us to the S-Corporation, an IRS tax election that the state of Maine, represented by this official seal, fully recognizes. To get this status, you form a standard corporation first. Then you have exactly 75 days to file IRS Form 2553. This changes your tax treatment to pass-through status while keeping your corporate structure intact. To maintain that status, you must stay within strict limits: a maximum of 100 shareholders, only one class of stock, and every owner must be a U.S. resident. For growing businesses requiring a formal corporate structure, but refusing to pay Maine's 8.93% corporate tax rate, the S-Corporation is an effective compromise. To finalize your decision, you have to define your ultimate business goal using this flowchart. If your goal is maximum liability protection with the simplest possible tax burden, you choose the LLC. If your priority is maximum equity control to attract outside venture capital, you choose the C-Corporation. And if you want a formal corporate hierarchy without suffering double taxation, the blueprint points directly to the S-Corporation. Regardless of the path you take, there is one non-negotiable compliance rule that applies to every registered business in the state. Every Maine entity must file an annual report by June 1st and pay an $85 fee to maintain good standing. Your initial entity selection defines your tax exposure and structural flexibility. But filing that report every year is what actually preserves your status as a legally protected business.